Impressive audiovisual thrills. Released on May 10, 1996, this is the second film from cinematographer-turned-director Jean de Bont, following 1994's Speed, who oversaw Twister's rather tumultuous $90 million production. Dangerous conditions and uncooperative weather made for a tense set, with 20 crew members quitting in protest, while its stars nearly went blind from special lights used during filming. But somehow, the PG-13 rated picture completed principal photography in just 82 days and became the second highest grossing film of the year behind Independence Day, with a massive worldwide gross of $495 million. The well-paced 113-minute story follows Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton as two estranged storm chasers on the brink of divorce who must work together to test an advanced weather alert system by putting themselves directly in the path of violent tornadoes. The Mad About You star shines in the action-packed experience with a performance brimming with ambition, excitement, and stubbornness. Meanwhile, the dearly departed Paxton is wonderful as her opposite, whose attempts at safety and pragmatism are quickly overpowered by his childlike enthusiasm. Jamie Gertz does commendable work in the thankless role of Bill's sex therapist fiancée, who begrudgingly tags along for the ride, forced to watch her man rekindle his relationship with Hunt right in front of her, all while being constantly traumatized by the ferocious weather events happening all around them. Narratively, her role serves as the audience proxy, as she's the main target for all of the movie's Fujita-scale-related exposition, but emotionally, she's kind of a wet blanket that only ever complains. Despite her best efforts, Gertz was nominated, perhaps unfairly, for the Worst Supporting Actress Golden Raspberry Award. Elsewhere, you have Cary Elwes as the rival storm chaser. Although third billed, he's hardly in the movie for more than a few minutes. He's meant to be seen as the bad guy after Paxton contemptuously introduces him by saying,
"He's in it for the money, not the science."
And that science is important. You gotta get those Pepsi-looking colored dots recorded on your clunky 90s-era laptop somehow. Otherwise, Hunt's daddy would have been sucked into that F5 during the film's cold open in vain. The rest of the ensemble cast is overstuffed with underdeveloped characters. Talented and accomplished actors like Jeremy Davies, Patrick Fischler, and Joey Slotnick have maybe 5 lines of dialogue between them. For example, the credits list 2 separate characters as Stanley and Kubrick, an obvious nod to the famous director whose classic horror film The Shining is memorably featured during this film's terrifying drive-in sequence. But Stanley and Kubrick are literally never mentioned by name once in the film. Now, having a dozen extra characters that don't do anything isn't the worst mistake a movie can make, but it's emblematic of poor script economy and an easy thing to fix. Besides Bill and Helen, the team consists of 8 different storm-chasing misfits, who could and should have been condensed into Philip Seymour Hoffman's fun and eccentric Dusty, or Alan Ruck's human GPS character Rabbit.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
Food.
Food!
Hey! We're absolutely not going.
Everyone else is disposable. Like, did you know that Anthony Rapp and Jake Busey are in this movie? I've seen it 4 times and I had to look frame by frame to find them. We follow these 2 large groups of storm chasers during a wild 24-hour period in Oklahoma, where they find themselves cowering from the destructive force of 4 separate tornado incidents. But little of it feels particularly tense or dramatic, as all of the characters miraculously survive every stormy encounter completely unscathed. Well, almost. One of the aforementioned nameless background guys gets his head sliced by flying metal debris, but don't worry, Hunt puts a napkin on it and he's perfectly fine in the next scene. Like, why is this movie filled with so many characters if none of them are going to be killed? You'd think, okay, surely all of these extra people are going to die one at a time to help demonstrate the deadly threat and provide us with some gratuitous death scenes, right? Wrong. Come on, de Bont, this is a disaster movie. Let's see some actual stakes instead of preposterous survivals. Underneath it all, we're treated to a romantic angle between Bill and Helen, which, coupled with her traumatic past, provides some interesting backstory. But frankly, there's little meat on this bone. It's fitting that Twister was turned into a, now sadly defunct, first-rate attraction at Universal Studios, because this feature film truly does feel like a theme park ride. Low on exposition and high on action. It's big, loud, and fast. At times, it feels more like a VFX showcase than a narrative film. Until the standalone sequel was greenlit, however, Twister's most lasting legacy was perhaps inspiring a 10% increase in meteorology degree enrollments across US colleges. And another fun fact, Twister has the notable distinction of being the first movie ever released on DVD, and the last ever released on the HD DVD format. Twister was also nominated for 2 Oscars, Best Visual Effects and Best Sound, but lost both at the 69th Annual Academy Awards. Still, that shot of a cow flying through the air remains an iconic image to this day. Couple that with a tremendous surround sound mix, and this is one film that deserves to be heard on the loudest speakers possible. To say nothing of Mark Mancina's bombastic Western-inspired score, or the accompanying rock soundtrack album with new music from Van Halen. Both are excellent. Also, quick sidebar, remember when movies used to have tie-in albums with new music from famous artists? Like Batman and Robin, Last Action Hero, or the Godzilla soundtracks? We used to be a society! Ah, I miss the 90s. Anyway, let's wrap up. Twister overcomes its bloated cast and shallow plotting to deliver an intense and entertaining experience. I definitely have a soft spot for this one, so despite its many shortcomings, I'm rating it a cool. A real classic of the disaster genre. That does it for this movie night review, but if you'd like to watch more content, click or tap the thumbnails on the left. And don't forget to visit the Jogwheel YouTube channel for full episodes of this show, alongside all my other videos. My name is Jonathan Paula, thanks for watching, and have a good movie night.